Hello, putting fans from across the nation. This is the PopStroke 2023 Tour Series Orlando Stroke Play and High Roller Event Recap video. We're here in Orlando, Florida at beautiful PopStroke. There's hole number 7, one of the tougher holes. And here is hole 17 and hole 18, two of the most brutal putting holes in the world. Now let's get down to the action. We're here with rounds 1 and 2 of the Stroke Play event. Let's get this underway with Gary McNeely, hole 18. Some of you might remember Gary from the 2018 MSOP Phoenix Championship where he took the title. And hole 18 will be the story today. This is one of the toughest holes in competitive putting. So easy to get it offline and fall into one of these sand traps. And you'll see what a lot of the players were experiencing. Here's Robert Morris, local putting legend for par. Oh yes, just enough there for Robert. This is hole number 3. This hole was incredibly challenging. There wasn't really a distinct ace line. Guys were doing a lot of different things on this hole. And a nice par for this gentleman here. Let's go to Tim Talley, hole 18. This is for par. Oh yes. And here's world putting legend Hans Olafsson. Hans, always one of the favorites in every tournament he enters. And oh yes, nice ace for Hans there. And let's go to Gary English. Gary, a Professional Putting Association legend. Been doing putting competitions for quite a long time. He's another guy who's always one of the favorites in these tournaments. And Gary will tap in for his par here. And here's a shot on hole 18 that you saw quite a bit of. The ball rolls out of the step area there, and it usually rolls into the sand trap, but this one stays up. And let's go to the Squeaky Bagel. Gary Schiff, putting legend. Runs a website called the Squeaky Bagel where he releases all kinds of putting information and putting news. Nice birdie for Gary there. This is another tough spot that people found themselves in on 18. That little knob there was really playing havoc on a lot of people's second putts. Here's Sean Tate, hole 18. Sean out of Phoenix, Arizona. Has a putt tech course in his backyard. And, oh, just power lips that out. Sean did very well at the National Putting Tour event at Valley Golf Center in Avondale, Arizona. There's a nice second putt there on 17. Now here's Sean Tate for par. And just misses that low side. Here's Carrie Olch. Carrie, a great putter. Saw her practicing multiple times out here at the facility. And here's her second putt. Very tough to get aggressive on this because it will go along just like this. And watch this thing go into the sand trap. What a nightmare of a hole. And here's one of the brightest personalities in competitive putting, Alexander Molina out of Sweden. A nice par for Alexander. With his patented fist pump. Here's MSOP putting legend David Cargetta. He just left it a little short, and that's going to sit up on that hill. Just a little more speed, and that trickles all the way down to the hole. And here's Brian Katrick, host of the Sirius XM PGA channel. Brian, a phenomenal putter, has done very well at the Georgia State Putting Championships over the years. Did he hit it enough? No, he'll leave that short for a bogey. Here's Travis Houston. I got to play my last round with Travis. One heck of a nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
And oh yes, an ace on 18. Beautiful roll for Travis there. And let's go to Pete Lyon. Pete lives in the area. He's played this course a handful of times. Gosh, I really thought that was a nice putt, but just a little bit long, and you can see how things filter into these sand traps. Now here's Pete for his par. Really tough to get aggressive on this putt.
Nice putt.
But he does, and it pays off. Nice par for Pete. And let's go to Gary Schiff. Gary's pushed out a little bit right, and this will trickle into the sand trap. Once again, Gary runs the Squeaky Bagel website. Hell of a guy. Now here's Cargetta for par. And we're through flight 1. Let's go down to an interview with Brock Gillespie and Robert Morris.
All right, guys, we're here at the 2023 Orlando PopStroke Championship. We're through 2 rounds of the first flight. Local legend Robert Morris is at -3. He's just 3 off the pace. Robert, tell me a little bit about your 2 rounds out there. I know that there was a little bit of a speed change from round 1 to round 2. How did you negotiate that? What was the mindset there?
I mean, it was a great round. Luckily, I had a great partner, great event, but just had some putts go in, some putts go out. Luckily, I was a few extra under when I got to 17 and 18, which are pretty much the beast on this course. I mean, giving up 3 strokes on those and still being in the hunt isn't a bad place to be at this point.
I agree. Right now, the leaders are at -6, so Robert's definitely in the hunt. Going into tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit hotter. It should be a little bit more difficult. What's the mindset tomorrow, Robert? Is it a gas pedal down kind of thing? Or are you going to maybe play a little bit conservative and just see what the leaders do? Is there any sort of mindset at all tomorrow?
I think the mindset is the first few holes dictate how you're playing. Make sure not to give yourself any high stress 2 putts. Get out there with pars. Pars not a bad score when it's hot out here. Take advantage of the holes you can get the ace on. Get the pars when you can, and avoid the 4s and 5s. A 3 on some of these holes is not a bad score. Take your medicine and call it a day.
When you talk about avoiding the 4s and the 5s, I think everybody is still having problems with holes 17 and 18. I know that you had said something about you guys were really low going into 17 and 18 and kind of unraveled a little bit. I hate to bring up something bad here, but tell me a little bit about 17 and 18.
17 is just a tricky hole. If you hit the right putt, you can go back, and for whatever reason, the ball accelerates up a hill. Never seen it before in my life, but it does on 17, and went to the back bunker. But took my medicine, put it over into the side, got myself a good 3 putt, but missed the 3rd putt, took the 4. Luckily, I had someone calm me down before I got to 18. Sure took a bogey, but honestly, on 18, a bogey feels like a par sometimes.
A lot of guys making Swiss cheese out of 17 and 18. It was an absolute nightmare. But hey, Robert, well done. 3 under. He's in the hunt. We're going to go to the 2nd flight now of the first day and see how things go. Robert, thanks again.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
We are now in flight 2 of the Stroke Play Championship, day 1. Here's Chris Johnson, and this is tracking, and oh yes, with authority. Most know Chris from his 2nd place finish to Taylor Montgomery in the MSOP final in 2017. Hell of a payday that day for Chris. And here's putting legend Rainey Statham. Rainey's got this on a nice line, but it just veers a little to the right, and look at this trickle in. And Rainey's just disgusted with this hole. And that's what most players were doing if they were in that trap. It's very tough to be aggressive, so he lays up and just takes a 3. And here's Chris Johnson, hole 18. And that'll be a little bit left, and you can see this thing trickle out and right into the sand trap, and Chris cannot believe it. Now he has a very difficult 2nd shot, but what a shot he orchestrates here. That is much more difficult than it looks like, folks.
Let's go putt.
Nice putt there for Chris. Here's PPA legend Robert Johnson. He'll run that a little bit long. Here's Alexander Molina, hole 17. It's hard to see right there, but the play is to go way right up on the hill and bounce it back down, and he's executed this perfectly. And he'll clean this up for par. And this was a tough putt from the fringe, but well orchestrated by this gentleman here. Very happy with an under par round. And here's Rainey Statham playing hole 18 in his final round. Rainey currently at 2 under, so he's a little behind the pace here. Very nice putt there.
Nice putt, Rainey.
Rainey, always one of the favorites in these tournaments. He's got about 2.5 feet for par here. This putt breaks just a pinch left to right.
There you go.
A nice putt for Rainey. And a lot of people on hole 17 were in this right bunker. Very popular spot and a very tough putt to make because he didn't want to take it long. Now here's Chris Johnson, hole 17, round 2.
This hour you can't hold that line.
And he's left that in the sand trap as well.
No, he didn't. Rusty's got to get.
There you go, Chris.
But a nice up and down. What a par for Chris. And here's Chris Johnson, hole 18. He's got this on a nice line. No. Oh, yes. Chris Johnson with authority off the back wall.
Nice finish, Chris.
And he's still in the hunt. Let's go to Rusty, hole 16. Rusty Taylor. He just missed that, but Rusty doing very well today. And there's a nice putt on 18. Who's this? It's Gary Hester. Gary, a PPA legend.
Nice par, Gary.
And this is one of the best putts all day that didn't go in. I don't know how this putt does not go in right here. You can see it tracking at the hole and just hits some sort of hill there.
How does that not go in?
Very unfortunate. And here's Travis Houston to finish up one of the better rounds of the day. That's a 31 for Travis. Very well done. And here's Alexander Molina.
Nice putt.
There's that patented fist pump.
There you go, Alexander.
It's ice hockey.
It's tough out there right now.
It's cold in the air, as fast as hell.
And I learned a new expression there. Yes, PopStrokeTourSeries.com. So we now go to Tuesday. We're playing rounds 3 and 4. Everybody made the cut. It was a beautiful morning on Tuesday. And let's go to the Don Corleone of competitive putting, Guillaume Ballon. Guillaume has done a great job with the PopStroke Tour Series. We were short one player, so he's acting as a mark for Mr. Deloche here. And this putt's on a nice line. Oh, yes. Nice fist bump from Guillaume as well. Let's go to hole 4. This is a tough uphill putt. You can play it as a left to right or a right to left putt, as there was hills on both sides. And here's a good view of hole 7 and the way players were playing this hole out to the left. Here's hole 6. A lot of players were choosing to go right over to that center hump and hoping for a backdoor roll in. A tough putt there for Mr. Deloche. Here's just sort of the conventional line on hole 7. Players were going both routes on this hole. I felt like going left up on the hill was the better play. And here's Guillaume Ballon, hole number 11. You had to play this ball up into that rough on the right-hand side and hope for it to get back to the hole. This was an incredibly challenging hole. Now this putt right here breaks a little bit right to left, and a lot of the players were not seeing it. Let's see if Guillaume can orchestrate this. Yeah, it just went left on him.
Not let that bother me out here.
Here's hole number 12. A very interesting hole. He didn't like it, but he's about to make it. Surprised that didn't go in. And here's Seve Kikelkia for a nice par on 18. Seve from Europe, one of the top putters out here. And here's Rusty Taylor for birdie. Oh yes. Nice make for Rusty.
What a beauty. This goes in.
And here's one of the top competitive putters in the world, Frank Bessesi. Frank playing very well once again. Had a great finish out in Sarasota last year at the PopStroke Tour Championship.
Take your time here. There you go.
And a very nice putt there for Rusty Taylor. He'll tap that in for his par.
There you go, Randy.
And he's amongst the leaders right now.
Rusty.
And here's Randy Reeves,
Rusty. Well done, buddy.
PPA putting legend, up at the top of the leaderboard once again. And here's Travis Houston. He's ran this a little bit long, and let's see what happens here. Does it stay up there? And he caught a break. Luckily that didn't roll into the sand trap. And we'll stay here with Travis Houston. He's got this for par. This putt breaks a little bit left to right at the beginning, but after that it flattens out, and a lot of the players are missing that. Let's see if he can orchestrate this here. One of the few left-handed putters in the field. Oh yes.
It's a bummer to have the lead.
Here's Seve Kikelkia again, and oh, tough miss there on 17.
Do it!
And here's Rusty Taylor, hole 17. Nice putt. And here's Chuck Palm. He was leading at the beginning of the tournament. Lips out. Does this have enough to get back in? Oh, yes. And some silver lining here at the end for Chuck Palm. Chuck, a phenomenal putter. Playing with Randy Reeves.
Nice putt, Randy.
And here's Randy. And what speed on this. Not too many players were able to orchestrate it quite like that. Very nice. Hell of a tournament for Greg. And here's Gunnar, hole 16. Choosing to play this one off the back wall and just lips out. Gunnar has the coolest mohawk in putting, guaranteed. And here's Gunnar with a tap-in on 17. But he's got a big lead. Here's Seve Kekelkia, hole 18. It's not going to be Seve's day, but he had a great tournament. But the day belonged to Gunnar Bengtsson. Gunnar from Sweden. And here is Gunnar on hole 18. He just needs to not do anything stupid here. He's played it a little bit longer to the left, and will that stay? Oh, yes.
It's a good safe play.
And Gunnar does not have to make this. My guess is he'll probably just cozy this down there and tap in for his 3. And a nice putt. And well done, Gunnar Bengtsson,
Well done,
2023 Orlando Stroke Play champion. He took down a field of 61 of the best putters in the world. And there's a lot of the players there to congratulate him. There's Guillaume Ballon congratulating him. Very well done for Gunnar. And Gunnar Bengtsson.
Hey guys, we're here at the 2023 Orlando PopStroke Championship. Guys, we had the first event, the stroke play event. 60 of the world's best putters out here. Guys, guess what? Gunnar Bengtsson. Am I pronouncing that right? What's the
Okay.
right way to say it?
Let me say it the Swedish way. Gunnar Bengtsson.
Gunnar Bengtsson.
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 Gunnar Bengtsson. Well, we'll work on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was the best out here. I'll tell you what I want to know, and they didn't really talk about this. I looked up at the leaderboard, and this guy's leading by 6 strokes coming down the stretch. You know, tell me a little bit about the mentality there. I was wondering what would be in your head. Do you start playing conservative? Do you go gas pedal down and say act like you're not even in the lead at all? What was your thought process there coming down the stretch?
Starting out, I had a lead of 3 strokes. The 3 strokes is not enough to play conservatively or like do any safe shots or anything. You just keep playing,
Gotcha.
keep playing. It's still 18 holes to go. But then when I came down the stretch and I figured, okay, I'm doing pretty well, I started looking at the scoreboard and I said, okay, I'm at 15, they're at 11, so I got 4, then turned to 5, and I started thinking, okay, I might start being a bit more conservative. So 17 and 18, I was just taking safe shots.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He mentioned 17 and 18, and that, in my opinion, that's kind of one of the stories of the tournament. These 2 holes, the margin for error was like that small, and if you hit the ball offline in just any tiny way, it was not going to go in. Obviously, you did pretty well on 17 and 18 to win this tournament. I'm assuming you did well in those holes?
I did, yeah. I had like, I'm not sure, 2 or 3 bogeys up until the last round. And then I took 2 bogeys sort of on purpose the last round just because I knew I had 5 or 6 strokes.
Awesome. Well, my last question is, you know, where do we go from here? You know, we got the PopStroke Tour Series. Fort Myers is a lock. You know, you have a number of other tournaments. I know that, you know, you're from Sweden. You got the Swedish putting team, which is probably known as the greatest putting team in the world if we're talking about country by country. What is the plan for future PopStroke events? I mean, are you going to try to make it to every one of these? I know you'll be at the Tour Championship, but these PopStroke, the PopStroke Tour Series tournaments, what's the plan there?
We're gonna try and be like at as many events as possible. For sure, the next one, and then they're not all nailed down the exact spots and dates. So we'll sort of play it by ear, but we want to go to as many as possible.
Sounds good, guys. The 2023 Orlando PopStroke Stroke Play Champion, Gunnar. This guy's the man. He's coming up that leaderboard. Watch out. Thanks again.
First of all, thank everybody. Thank you on behalf of PopStroke, Guillaume, myself, our great team here. Thank you for being here. If you're competitors in the field, I hope you had a wonderful time. If you're here as spectators and came out to root on. Certainly, as Brock said, these are the best putters in the world. PopStroke is attracting the very best putters in the world in our competitions. We had the inaugural PopStroke Tour Championship in Sarasota in October, and this is now the inaugural PopStroke Tour Series. We will have several events, one each month at a different PopStroke facility. Again, players will compete for 100% of their own cash. This week's purse with a $5,000 winner. So without further ado, first of all, thank you. Thanks to our great staff. How about a round of applause?
Thank you, Kent. Yeah.
I'm going to turn this over to the man that really came up with this concept. He's a legend. I say that and I mean it. He's a master of masters in terms of putting championships together. Please welcome Guillaume Bellon, my great partner.
Guillaume. Yeah.
Pronunciation. Thank you, Ken. Guys, first of all, I want to thank you for being here. You're part of something that we're trying to create. You're part of a new type of competition that we want to grow. I mean, we started that way back then, but now I think we have the platform to really grow this thing into something that's going to be very interesting for you guys. So, as Ken was mentioning, the idea was to launch a championship, but this is the first ever PopStroke Tour Series. And we intend to grow this thing with adding events every month for you guys to participate, but also to grow the community of competitive putters. So we want to visit all the PopStroke venues in Orlando, in all the venues that we have, so we can grow the competition. And ultimately, we want to bring you guys yearly at each and every venue, so the new putters, the new community can compete against yourself. So thank you very much for being here. You're actually, you're our product. You are creating the show, you are creating the competition, and everything we do and everything we're going to do is to make it more entertaining for you. So thank you very much for
Thank you, Guillaume. Yeah.
I also like to thank the team at PopStroke. I mean, you, Ken, has been heavily involved since almost a year now. If you don't know Ken's background, he's been the tournament director and the chairman of the Honda Classic. So, like, when you talk about golf, he knows everything about it. We have a great team at PopStroke. I'm talking about Tammy, everything that you see that we produce in social media, like all the things that we're producing, Tammy does that with the team. We have a new edition. Where are you? Oh, easy, come over. Right. So I wanna present to you Craig. Craig's gonna be heavily involved in everything we're gonna do in the future.
All right, Craig.
Craig Mooney. And the new addition of the week is Griffin. Griffin's going to be heavily involved in everything that relates to competition here in Orlando. So that's it for now. Now I would like you to applaud someone that travels quite a bit to come here. Someone that was involved in everything that we've done over the last few years. And I think it's a well-deserved victory for him. What an amazing score you shot, so please applaud Gunnar Bengtsson.
Here you go, Gunnar. Here you go, Gunnar.
Gunnar, tell me about, I want you to go back to your first round. Were you nervous when you started the competition?
Yesterday morning, not that much actually. I mean, we're just thinking, going out there and have fun. That's the main thing. Sports are gonna come.
And did that change when you, after the first 9 holes in the pro tour?
Not really. I mean, you just keep going out there. I mean, if you play these things, you know that it's not competition. You gotta keep playing.
Great. And are you going to be back with us for the next events?
What do you think?
Thank you, Gunnar.
Gunnar, we're giving you a check of $5,000 US.
4,500. Here, guys.
And also, it's a tradition that we're installing here. Every winner gets a golden putter. So So it's the fourth one that we're giving away, so congratulations.
Well done, Gunner.
Thank you, Guillaume. Thank you, everybody. Gunnar, congratulations. Masterful putting week for you. I just got to ask you one quick question. I mean, this is your second experience at PopStroke. You were in our PopStroke Tour Championship in October. Now the Orlando PopStroke. Give us, a little rundown on PopStroke. What do you think of this business?
The Swedish putting team, we come to both of these events and we just love it here. I mean, the atmosphere and the courses and everything around it. So that's why we keep coming back. We're going to keep coming back to the next event as well, for sure.
Thank you, Gunnar. Also, we've got to be remiss if we don't thank our great partner. You saw the news last week. TaylorMade is not only a great sponsor of the PopStroke Tour Championship, but now TaylorMade is an equity investor in PopStroke. So it's Tiger Woods, Greg Bartoli, and TaylorMade. So, TaylorMade is such a wonderful golf equipment company, certainly one of the leaders, if not the leader in the space. We're happy to have TaylorMade. And of course, Monster is a partner of ours as well here at PopStroke. So on behalf of our team again, Gunnar, congratulations to you on a wonderful
Yeah, Gunnar!
Enjoy the money. I hope it's back to Sweden in the $5,000 form that he's given to you in. Again, just a quick rundown. Guillaume is modest. We created PopStroke Leagues. So for those that are interested in the Orlando market and all our other facilities, PopStroke Leagues kicks off January 31st, and it'll be in every facility on the Tuesday of every month. So we encourage everybody to enter the PopStroke Leagues. It's a great way to get the community involved, a great way to get people out here putting. And Guillaume has also created, you've heard of the official World Golf Rankings on the PGA Tour and the World of Golf. Guillaume's also created the PopStroke, what's it? Yeah, World Putting Rankings been created. So Gunnar's going to get points. Randy's over here, he's on there. So the World Putting Ranking System will be in place, and that will slowly develop into what we now know as the World Golf Championships and the official world rankings on the PGA Tour for professional golf. So look, keep your eye open for the PopStroke Leagues at every PopStroke facility. Enjoy the PopStroke Tour Series. And at 3:30, you're going to be able to see Gunnar once again. The 18th hole is right here. You're going to be able to see 8 people playing for $40,000. Maybe any $5,000 a man for the new high roller competition that Guillaume has created. So we'll see you all at 3:30. And please stay and enjoy 3 rounds of golf.
Thank you, Ken.
Once again, congratulations to Gunnar for taking the Orlando Stroke Play title. Now let's move to the high roller event. $5,000 per player. $20,000 for first place. Let's go out to hole 1. This is Gunnar Bengtsson. He's coming off a victory, and what does he do here to follow that up? No. Oh, yes. And the field has got to be worried. This guy is putting the lights out. And let's go to Chris Johnson, hole number 1. Chris, always one of the favorites in every single putting competition he putts in. And here's Jacob Stass, hole number 2. This is looking good. Oh, yes. Jacob fired up here. And let's go to Kevin Sundstrom. Kevin, a little quiet in the stroke play event. He's another one of those players that always has a chance to win in every single tournament he putts in. He's part of this Swedish contingent. And here's Adam Shanks. Adam has got this on a nice line, but it's going to be a little bit short. But he'll make that for his par. And here's the Sarasota stroke play champion, Matthias Hagloff. Oh, he's got this on the perfect line. Is this going to go in? Oh, yes. Double hand fist pump down. I love that move. I got to use that out there. Here's Jacob Stass, hole number 12. He's got this on a beautiful line. Most players are running this one a little bit long and bouncing it in off the back wall, and I can't believe that didn't go in. Here's Kevin Sundstrom for par hole 11. Nice make. You can cut this tension with a knife out here. Big money involved with this tournament. And here's Chris Johnson with a very nice play on hole 11. That'll leave him a tap-in par. Well done for Chris. And here's Alexander Molina. Alexander, one of the brightest personalities in competitive putting. Finished pretty good in the stroke play. And now he's got about 5 feet for par on 11, and he just left it short. And here's Hans Olafsson. Hans has been playing in putting tournaments for probably 30 plus years. He's a very well-known competitive putter and very respected. He's got a great tournament going here in the high roller. Here's Jacob Stass, hole 10. Nice make for him. And let's go to Matthias Hagloff, hole 11. Matthias electing to just play this the conventional way.
Yeah. I'm surprised the Swedes aren't going out for the rough on that hole.
That's going to leave him about 3 feet for his par. Here's Jacob Stass, hole 17. He's playing this aggressive here and almost rolls into that sand trap back there, but nice putt there for Jacob. He'll make that for a 3. And the leader right now is Hans Olafsson with a score of -8. Gunnar is putting well again at -5. Matthias Hagloff and Kevin Sundstrom round off the top 4. And the Swedes are taking them to it right now. Here's Hans Olafsson, hole 18. Nice putt for Hans to keep it going. Here's Jacob Stass, hole 18. He's got this going pretty quick. This might get into the sand trap, and unfortunately, yes, it does. Here's Alexander Molina, hole 17. Alexander has fallen a little bit back to the bottom of the field. He needs a make here, and he's going to have a tough 3-footer for par. Now let's stay right here with Kevin Sundstrom. Guys are really grinding right now.
Same putt. You think it breaks and it doesn't, it's straight.
Kevin has this going on a nice line. Oh, just misses. What a beautiful putt for Kevin there. Here's Alexander Molina, hole 18. And this is another great line. It gets a little bit unfortunate. It stays up in that rough, and he is not happy with that. And the high roller event belongs to the legend Hans Olafsson. Let's watch Hans here on 18. This is the highlight of the high roller round for him. He's lined up on that right-hand side and plays it just next to the curtain there on the sand trap. And look at this. Oh, yes. Hans Olafsson. What more can you say? The legend has delivered. And he can't believe it. He has won the 2023 Orlando High Roller Championship. One of the biggest putting tournaments of all time, and Hans Olafsson has done it. And it's official. They went to a playoff. Him and Matthias were in a playoff, and Hans was able to stick it out with a score of 10 under. Matthias tied with him at 10 under, but finishes second. Kevin Sundstrom, Adam Shanks, Chris Johnson, Gunnar Bengtsson, Alexander Molina, and Jacob Stass round off the field. Let's look at some upcoming nationwide events. On February 13th through the 23rd, the World Putting League will be doing their tournament with the U.S. Pro Mini Golf Association. This is where you'll be able to bet on players on DraftKings. February 20th, PopStroke will be in Fort Myers. February 26th, the National Putting Tour will be at Putting World in Scottsdale, Arizona. March 5th, the National Putting Tour will be doing the TopIMR.com Putting Championship at Pechanga in Temecula, California. March 31st to April 1st, the World Putting Tour will be starting at Putting World. This is a $30,000 purse event in Scottsdale, Arizona. April 2nd, the National Putting Tour will be at Valley Golf Center in Avondale, Arizona. April 16th, PopStroke will be in Tampa Bay. April 30th, the National Putting Tour will be at Tin Cup Grill in Cumming, Georgia. And May 7th, the PopStroke Tour Series will do Houston. If you would like to sign up for any National Putting Tour events, go to nationalputtingtour.com. To play in the PopStroke 2023 Tour Series, go to popstroketourseries.com. Thank you once again for watching this recap video for the PopStroke Orlando Championship. We will see you on February 20th at the PopStroke location in Fort Myers for the Fort Myers PopStroke Championship.